Take a look at some ideas for the key centers and arpeggios for the tune All the Things You Are. The key centers basically are starting out in A major. So here's an A flat major scale. Then it goes very briefly into a C major scale. Then briefly into another key center, which is E flat major. Then very briefly into G major. And then into E major. So hopefully you know how chords work, but in any major key, the 1 chord is major, the 2 and the 3 are minor. The 4 and the 5 are basically major, 6 is minor. The 7 is, in our context, it's going to be minor 7 flat 5, or what they call half diminished. So if we just take a brief look, so the key centers for All the Things You Are, the top one there is it's the chords in the key of A flat. So you notice all the 1 chords down the line going into these different keys. The 1 chords are always major, major 7, 2 and 3 are minor, etc., etc. The second key center for this tune, it's in there only briefly, is C. The third key center is in E flat. The fourth is briefly in G major. And then very briefly at the very end of the tune, it jumps briefly into E major. So if we look at All the Things You Are, hopefully you have it in iReal Pro or the Real Book or what have you. The chords are F minor 7, B flat minor 7, E flat 7, A flat major 7, D flat major 7, D minor 7, G 7, C major 7, C minor 7, F minor 7, B flat 7, E flat major 7, A flat major 7, A flat minor 7, A minor 7 flat 5 to D7 to G major 7. Now we have 2 in the key of G, A minor 7, 5 in the key of G, D7 to 1, which is G major 7. So let's just take a look at the first chunk. So we know that for our first 4 measures of the tune, this is measure 1, this is measure 2, this is measure 3, this is measure 4, and this is measure 5. For the first 5 measures of the tune, we're going to be basically in this key center. A flat major. If we look at something that they teach beginning improvisers, which is, okay, the first chord is F minor 7, so let's start the scale and end the scale on F. Second chord is B flat minor 7. Let's start and end on B flat, playing notes in the scale. Third chord is E flat 7. Let's start and end on E flat, playing the notes in the scale. That's basically modes. Okay, so if you take a major scale, and for the F minor 7, you play your A flat major scale, which is our main key center in the beginning here, run it from F to F, that would be an F Aeolian mode. Second chord in the tune is B flat minor 7. It's the 2 chord in the key of A flat major. So if you just run the A flat major scale, that would be Dorian mode. And likewise, the next chord is the E flat 7. That's the 5 chord in the key of A flat, which is our key center. That's the Mixolydian mode. That's, to me, only useful in the sense of having a background awareness of what notes are in this key. Those scale notes can be used to connect chord tones. In my estimation, that comes out with a more musical, better sound if you concentrate on chord tones. So let's take a look at the arpeggios in this scale position. That's A flat major, and here's our first chord arpeggio, which is F minor 7. Here's our B flat minor 7. Here's our E flat 7, the third measure in the tune. And here's our A flat major 7. Here's our D flat major 7. Okay, right here we get into the sixth measure. This is where the tune goes briefly into another key, or key center of C major. So for these three measures, the three measures are D minor 7, G7, and then you hang on C major 7 for two measures. So we're going to be using this C major key center scale. Mainly it's down here. Okay, so we're in this key center. This starts with a 2-5-1 in C, so it starts with D minor 7. Here's the arpeggio. And then it goes to G7. And then it lands on the C major 7. Okay, when we get to measure 9 of the tune, we're now on C minor 7. So now we're modulating into the key of E flat major. So for C minor 7, we're going to be down here. Okay, let me give you the fingering first for the E flat major scale. If we extend it, we have those notes as well. You can slow this down on YouTube, half speed, quarter speed, whatever, just if you want to pick up those scale fingerings. Hopefully you know them already. But yeah, the E flat major. So getting into that key of E flat major, the key center there, the first chord is C minor 7. The next chord is F minor 7. Okay, now I'm going to start mixing it up a bit. So here we have, okay, let me try that again. So C minor 7. And now F minor 7. And now for the B flat 7. That's B flat D, F, A flat. And now we're going to move into E flat major 7. Now to A flat major 7. We're still in that E flat major chord center, key center. Now right here we're going to go briefly into G major. So okay, so this is interesting because it's really a 2-5-1 in G. But this particular book that I'm looking at gives us the 2 chord as a half diminished. So it's A minor 7 flat 5 to D7. Now you probably recognize an A minor 7 flat 5 with that flat 5 in there usually leads to a G minor 6, or G minor major 7. In this instance, it's kind of like a 2-5 in G minor, but it lands on the G major 7. Okay, so if we look at, again, when the tune gets into measure 9 and it modulates into the key center of E flat major, we have C minor 7, F minor 7, B flat 7, E flat major 7, A flat major 7, and then A minor 7 flat 5, D7, and then G major 7. Continuing now into the middle section of the tune, which the melody has. For that middle section, we're still in the key of G major. So we have A minor 7, D7, G major 7. Now we're going to do a 2-5 in E, but we're going to come back to this. So we have F sharp minor 7 flat 5, B7, and then E major 7. Then we have C7 sharp 5. Now we're back to the final A section, which again would be the F minor 7, E flat 7, A flat major 7, D flat major 7, G flat 13, B diminished 7, B flat minor 7, E flat 7, A flat 6. Now the turnaround, if you were going to go back and start again, would be 2-5 in F minor. So it would be G minor 7 flat 5 to C7 to the F minor 7 chord. So if I walk you through the chords again and tell you what each chord is, it's F minor 7, which is the 6th chord in A flat. B flat minor 7 is the 2 chord in A flat. E flat 7 is the 5 chord in this key center of A flat. That's the 1 chord, of course, A flat major 7. 4 chord is D flat major 7. Right here, it modulates briefly to the key of C major. D minor 7 is the 2 chord in C. G7 is the 5 chord in C, resting on the C major 7 for 2 measures. When we get to this third line, measure 9, we're on the 6th chord. So it kind of repeats the original sequence, which is the 6th chord in the key of E flat major, the 2 chord in the key of E flat major, the 5 chord in the key of E flat major, and the 1 in E flat major to the 4 chord, A flat major 7. Now we've got a quick turnaround in G. We stay in G for this middle section. Okay, so it's going to be 2 chord is A minor 7 in G to the 5 chord in G to the 1 chord in G for 2 measures. Now basically this is a 2 chord in E to the B7. So the 2 chord is F sharp minor 7 flat 5 to B7 to E major 7. Do it up here, do it here, and then C7 sharp 5. You could do it here as a C9, you could do it here, C7 sharp 5. Then we're back to the final A section. The 6th chord in A flat, the 2 chord in A flat, 5 chord, the 1 chord. The 4 chord in A flat. Then it goes into this, which is kind of like a 5 chord in B, which is strange. It's a G flat 13. Then we're back to C minor 7, which is the 6th chord in E flat. And then B diminished 7. And then B flat minor 7, the 2 chord in A flat. The 5 chord. And then A flat 6. And then if we're going to turn around, G minor 7 flat 5 to C7. Okay, so the idea is to use arpeggios, and then you can sometimes use connecting notes, and the connecting notes come from the key center scale. Originally, when I was trying to learn to improvise over all the things you are, I would be in just doesn't sound as good without the chord tones. So if you kind of spell out some of the chords along the way. Okay, so one idea is, using the arpeggios. That's F minor 7, B flat minor 7, E flat 7, A flat major 7. So here you're spelling out the chord from bottom to top, which is a good way to start working with it. Another idea is to use chord shapes. So if I know that there's a F minor 7 here, and there's a B flat minor 7 there, going to an E flat 7, going to it, you can start to use chord shapes. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully that's useful. Maybe it's a review of some things you already knew. But yeah, the chord key centers in all the things you are A flat, then C briefly, then E flat, then G briefly, and then briefly E. One of the things that makes the tune nice. And what the melody actually does is it's using the, let's see, this is F minor 7. So it's using the third of each chord. So the first melody note is A flat, which is the third of this F minor 7 chord. Then it goes to the third of the second chord. It's the D flat in B flat minor 7. Then it goes to the third of E flat 7, that G, and then it goes to the third of A flat major 7. Then it goes to the third of D flat major 7, the third of D minor 7, the third of G 7, and finally it resolves to the third of a C major 7. So it's interesting because it's all thirds. Third of F minor 7 is A flat. Third of B flat minor 7 is D flat. Third of E flat 7 is G. This, okay, momentarily hits the 7 of A flat major 7, but it immediately goes to the third. Third of D flat major 7. Third of D minor 7. Third of G7. Third of C major 7. It continues. The key center moves to E flat, and we have the sixth chord in E flat, which is C minor 7. And so we've got the E flat here on the second string. That's the third. We've got the A flat, the third of the F minor 7. We've got the third of the B flat 7, which is D. They hit 5 Ds in a row here. The third of this E flat major 7. The third of A flat major 7. The third of A half diminished. Anyway, you get the picture. I guess Kern and Hammerstein really like thirds, but it's a beautiful tune. And it's one of the first tunes I was really trying to improvise over, knowing that it shifts keys quite a bit. Anyway, let me know if you have any questions. Please subscribe if you haven't. Throw me a like. It really helps. I appreciate it. And otherwise, see you soon. Have a great day.